Give me 1 second. 1 second. Let me just get my music ready. I have a whole Vocaloid instrumental playlist I want to get ready here because it's fitting, very, very fitting. And thank you, the Princess Jelly, for the follow. Welcome to the channel. 1 second. 1 second here. Hi, hi, hi. Well, give me 1 sec. Better all be Miku songs. I mean, like, they're all Vocaloid, so, like, they're not all gonna be Miku, of course. But, you know. 1 second. Let me get that playlist up. Where is it? It's from the... Here we go. Okay, how we all doing? How we doing? How we doing, chat? King 10 hours. Oh, what if I died, actually? Okay, well, hi. I'm gonna be waiting here for a second, because I literally just started a few minutes ago. A few as in 3. Because I've been hyping this up for a while. Not for a while. Oh, cool, my leap motion's fucking up again. Really cool. I thought I got that fixed. Cool, whatever. I guess we're going leap motionless today. I'm fucking that up. Hello, Chestnut Scoop. You better be ready, because I am going to be talking about the MME archive for a hot second, too, sometime during the presentation. Alright, well. Let's... Oh, also, hold on. 1 second. 1 second, running. 1 second. There we go. There we go. Okay, now we're ready. But the hat physics, yeah. Okay, so with the VC face prop system, it kind of like parents the image to like a bone. And the hat is parented to one of my hair bones, so when my hair wiggles, that wiggles. So we're gonna deal with that. I think it's funnier that way. I think it's very much funnier that way. So, we're gonna start here in a hot second. Let me actually get this up. Oh, wait a second. But chat, how's everything been going with y'all? Any news? Any cool things? It just wants to dance. Yeah, the hat just wants to dance. Quite fun. Oh boy. I'm also gonna check a few things real quick because I'm very excited. I'm very excited. Like, I am too excited because I'm going to be going off on a few tangents. A lot of the information in this presentation is going to be quite anecdotal based off of my own experiences in the community. Because, like, okay, I haven't been around for a long time in the MMD community, but relative to a good handful of people who are just now getting into it, you know, like VTubers, like a lot of VTubers, this is their first real prod and poke at MMD. So compared to all the people here, I consider myself, you know, kind of a little bit knowledgeable. Let me turn on the music just a little bit. I've been using MMD for years, but I never got so deep I made my own motions. Oh boy, well we're gonna, well okay. So when we're done with the presentation here, we are gonna also be going into MMD, and like I'm gonna be showing y'all how to, you know, install, how to get Miku Miku effects, stuff like that. I love the hat. Good. Is it gonna be a test? No, no. And hi Opal. Hi. And hi Bryce. I can't hear because I'm at work. Shit. Don't worry, because I'm gonna be saving this VOD and uploading it to YouTube. So, yeah. Okay, so I'm hoping that... Okay, we're actually gonna start like a minute or so after 5. Because I want to yell at y'all so bad. Yeah. I'm he, by the way, not... Well, yeah. We're gonna... everything going good? Yep, okay. Sorry, thank you, I appreciate it. I get kind of weird about pronouns shit sometimes. I'm a little bit not confident. I know you got the Tita slides. I do have the Tita slides, and I'm gonna be going off. I am gonna be going off about Tita, and y'all aren't gonna be ready for that. You're gonna get that Gorilla Grip hair follicle. Okay, so I think we might actually be ready to start here. Let me continue making love and joy envy with you. Hehe, yes, yes. Well, here's a quick disclaimer. It's very likely that I'm going to get a few things wrong. I'm not the all-knowing MMD god or whatever. MMD was released when I was like 6. So give me some slack. A lot of the information regarding MMD that I'm going to be talking about. Well, okay, a lot of information regarding MMD is Japanese, and I don't speak Japanese. Therefore, a lot of the information that I have and all of my experiences are from a Western point of view and through mostly Western sources of information. As for Japanese and otherwise non-English sources that I went to get some of my information, I used DeepL and Google Translate. Mostly DeepL because I consider DeepL a little bit more reliable, I guess. Are we going to be talking about model download sites? Yes, I do have a slide dedicated to, like, resources regarding MMD. Like, some of them are going to be Japanese, but I also, like, want to talk a little bit about, like, where to find, like, English sources, stuff like that. Also, a lot of the history behind MMD is inherently linked to Vocaloid and Vocasynth culture, so I am going to be talking about Vocaloid stuff before I actually get into MMD. Like, specifically just so I know that we're all on the same page. Some of you may think, oh, MMD, like, just because there's Miku in the title doesn't mean, like, we have to talk about Vocaloid. But since we're, like, talking about, like, the history and stuff like that, and, like, the model types, we are 100% gonna have to talk about Vocaloid. Hell yeah, I'm ready, never gonna geek out about MMD. Hell yeah, me too. Oh, well, I'm doing my best. I'm doing 100% my best. Like, if I get anything wrong, correct me politely. I'm not infinitely knowledgeable. Just because I have the wiggly hat doesn't mean that I'm the smartest person on the planet, though I try to be a little bit smart, just a little bit. This is just me, like, going off about something that has been a part of my life since I was, like, 13, 14, okay? Also, a lot of the time I'm going to be saying the word modeler a lot. A lot of the time when I say modeler, it can also reference to, like, literally any content that is made for MMD, like motions or effects or just parts and assets. Just, like, yes. Have confidence in the game. I'm trying my best here. Well, first of all, what is Hatsune Miku? Who is she? Who is this blue queen? Who is this teal queen? Well, Vocaloid is a series of vocal synthesis programs produced by Yamaha. So far, they've produced Vocaloid through Vocaloid 5. Vocaloid 5 is kind of a flop. Most people go for 4 or 3. I have a copy of 4. Though Yamaha has produced their own. Thank you, Batbag Doodles, for the follow. Though Yamaha has produced their own voice banks for the programs, like Cyber Diva, Cyber Song Man. Hatsune Miku was produced by a totally different company. And she's, like, by far the most popular, right? She was produced by Krypton Future Media, along with other Vocaloids such as Meguru Ruka, Rin, Nen, Kagamine, Kaito, and Meiko. Kaito and Meiko were released for the Vocaloid original Vocaloid software, while Ruka, Rin, Nen, and Miku were released for 2. So Miku isn't the first Vocaloid. She is 100% not the first Vocaloid. Oh, and thank you, Starry Skies, for the follow. Yeah, I'm out here with I got a full academic report on this. I'm wearing that hat for a reason. Don't underestimate me. Well, okay, so these aren't the only Vocaloids either. There are many more that are currently still in production or no longer in production. It really depends on, like, each individual voice bank and when they were made. Like Zero G UK Limited, Internet Co. Limited, Power Effects, AH Software. Those are all Vocaloid companies that produce voice banks. Miku is, like, very much universally recognized by her large teal pigtails and her very moe voice, which was voiced by Saki Fujita. Her most recent voice bank, released by Krypton, is Hatsune Miku NT, which they actually branched off into their own software, which is called Piapro Studio. NT, specifically. So technically she's not a Vocaloid anymore. So that's really cool. Thinking back to my Vocaloid years. Yeah! Hell yeah! And also, Vocaloid isn't the only vocal synthesis software out there at all. Like, no. Utao, Deep Vocal Synthesizer V, which has been blowing up recently because of the release of Solaria and Honoree. Ugh, boy. and Chevio. They're all notable examples of other vocal synth software that's most often utilized other than Vocaloid. um, so especially with the releases of Synthesizer V AI and Chevio AI, Vocaloid's been dying. I don't care who says otherwise, Vocaloid is dying. Whoever says otherwise is in denial. Similar to Vocaloid, different synths created for each software are often, but not always, represented through characters. Like, for example, Saki AI, she's very well known right now, especially in the V-synth community for her realistic vocals, but she doesn't have a character to represent her. So I think that's very interesting. They may or may not have canon personalities or information provided to them by the companies that make them. Yes, I am going to be talking about Utao in the next slide, because Utao is also very important in reference to, you know, the culture and stuff like that. It's very fun. Very, very fun. I started getting stuck to the Vocaloid community again. Good. Welcome back. It's Utao! This Utao is also important, so stay with me here. Utao is a shareware vocal synthesis program created by Ayame or Amea. They're called both, whatever, where the users are able to create their own voice banks. There's no one set method of recording a voice bank. Users can also create their own like recording lists and stuff like that. So you quite literally can create like any language voice bank that you want if you try hard enough. Common rec lists, like usually for Japanese or English, include CV. Well, when I say C and V, C means consonant and V means vowel. CV, VCV, VCCV, CVVC, and opera sing. I wanted to make an Utao, but I'm lazy bit. Oh my god, I have like 3 whole banks that I've recorded. It's really fun, but I have not released any of them because I'm afraid. Yeah, some are super simple and short, some are insanely long. Well, VCV is like the most popular rec list that's used like for the Japanese sphere specifically because it's relatively shorter to record, kind of, and like it's very smooth. It's very, very smooth. And VCCV and opera sing are used for English. The default pre-installed voice bank for Utao is a CV monopitch bank who has been named Defoko and Uta Utane. And she was made from the Aquasys Talk TTS program. She's not actually a real voice, which is fun, really fun. And like in reference to like characters and stuff like that for Utao, Vipraloids are by far the most popular. They're made as like joke Vocaloids by like a board that creates them. Kasane Teto is the most popular, owned by Twin Drill and Oyamano Mayo, who also is the person that voiced her. And she's the most recognizable. You can instantly see who she is by her red drill hair, and her attire is also heavily inspired by Hatsune Miku as well. It's very fun. Very, very fun. I tried getting into that when I was 13, but got too confused, so I stuck to attempting to make MMD models. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And one more Vocaloid explanation before we talk about like the impact of Vocaloid and stuff like that. Fanloids and derivatives are more dated. People don't really do derivatives anymore, but they're still extremely important when talking about and like delving into like hi Kakaya, hi, I'm glad that you can make it. Hello. But fanloids / derivatives, they're essentially like fan-made vocal synth characters based upon pre-existing vocal synth characters. Yeah, it's like Rinka and Nento, 100%. Those are gender bends of Rin and Ren Kagamine. They don't have to share the same voice as the character they're based on, actually, but more often than not, they share visual similarities to the ones that they're based off of. Like, examples of this are Yoane Haku and Akita Neru. They're both based off of Hatsune Miku. But the thing is, recently, okay, so Neru, she used to be Miku but pitched up, but a lot more recently, people have been taking Rin Kagamine and then pitching her down and being, like, used for Neru, which I think is really, really interesting. Or like Mikuo being boy Miku. Yes, 100%. Mikuo is also really large as well. But the thing is about Haku and Neru, they're officially recognized by Krypton Future Media. They are also featured in the Project Diva games, which is very, very cool. Sakine Mako is also an officially recognized Mako derivative. You don't see her as much simply because Mako isn't nearly as popular as Miku, but she is like substantial enough to also be recognized by Krypton. She's basically like a 16-year-old version of Mako, which is fun. Some vocal synth character owners restrict the creation of fanloids, specifically some Utao or deep vocal bank creators, like people who aren't really affiliated with like a company or something like that. So if you were to like hypothetically want to make like a fanloid of a pre-existing Utao, you have to like make sure you read, if they have a terms of usage for the voice bank, read that. You should be doing that regardless, but you know, figured I'd say it anyways. Well, here's some notable songs that use Hatsune Miku specifically. You know, we got, I tried to include mostly classics here. Classics as in like older Vocaloid songs that like kind of like set that foundation for the community. So of course I had to include Miku Miku no Shite Ageru and Melt. These, for those who aren't aware, these are all screenshots from Nico Nico, by the way, which is basically just a Japanese video sharing site. My current topic is 1,000 recordings. Oh boy, that's fun, Opal. Have fun with that. Yeah, Triple Baka is starting right in time. Awesome. But yeah, we got Miku Miku no Shite Ageru, Melt, World is Mine. You have 100% heard of World is Mine. I guarantee you, if you think you haven't, you have heard World is Mine at least once. Ivan Polka, you've heard that as well, I guarantee it. Rolling Girl by the late Wawaka, rest in peace. We got O1 Ballad, which is the first ever Miku demo that exists. And if you see this model right here, this is very important. The modeler who made the model for this PV is Kyo, who is also a very important MMD modeler. We got Vocaloid in Love. We got Sand Planet by Hachi. I don't consider it a classic because it's too new, in my opinion, to be a classic, but it's blown up enough for me to be notable. You know, got Poppy Po. You've heard this before, I guarantee it. It was a meme. And we got Romeo and Cinderella by Doriko. It's, oh my god, these are all good songs. All good songs. And like other notable Vocaloid V-Synth songs that you've probably heard of. You got Meltdown by Iroha. You got Tokyo Teddy Bear by Neru. The Rip Equals Release with Luca. One of the first songs of Luca's that like one of the first songs that uses Luca's voice bank that actually blew up. We got Fukireta, of course, with Utao Kasane Teto. We got Tale of 6 Trillion Years and a Night. You've 100% heard that song if you play, like, rhythm games like Bandori or Colorful Stage Hatsune Miku / Sekai. You've heard that one. Born Coward by 164, Butterfly on Your Right Shoulder. Servant of Evil. We got Luca Luca Night Fever by the late Sanfree, rest in peace. We got Echo by Crusher. Spice is another one. I haven't actually listened to Spice before, because I'm not a fan of Lang content, so I more than often than not try to avoid him because I don't like the way that he sounds. This is such a nostalgia trip because I remember when Vocaloid became popular in the States and the cosplay boom that followed. Yeah, totally. I was not old enough to, like, experience that, but I've seen the aftermath. Looks fun. And if you say you haven't heard of Vocaloid and V-Synth as a VTuber, you're dead wrong because you have experienced its impact. We've got King and Envy Baby by Canaria that use Gumi. Oh my god, the way that these songs blow up in the VTuber community makes me angry. Fukireta, that's a meme. That's by Lamaze P. So is Poppy Po. Poppy Po is also by Lamaze P. Funny thing is, Lamaze P is also the one that popularized the Get Down meme. You know, the one with like the character going get da 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 with like the character rotating around at like high speeds. Lamaze P popularized that, so I think that's very interesting. We got Electric Angel by Yasuo, which is covered by Giga P, but the original by, you know, Yasuo. The original song used Miku, but it was covered using Kagumine Renerin, of course. Let's see. It's like finding out you absorb info about a show via memes before seeing the show. Yeah, of course. Nyancat used the Utao Momone Momo, which I think it's very funny whenever I tell people that don't know anything. Like, not, like, it's just very fun telling people, like, hey, Nyancat is a Vocaloid song. It's very fun telling people about that. Copycat, I saw that going around for a little bit. That's by Circus P, who's also a VTuber now, which is very interesting to me. Ghost Rule and Hibana by Deco Nina featuring Hatsune Miku. Deco Nina's been blowing up a lot recently in the VTuber scene. Um, specifically his newer songs like The Vampire, Cinderella, I think. Oh my god, what else did he release recently? The Alice one that he released. I'm not a fan of Deco Nina's recent work, so it's really hard for me to keep track. Yeah, vocaloid music and guitar music are super influential, but kind of in a subtle way if you aren't into it. Yeah. Let's see, we got Patrick Staccato by Towa, and then Mina, which is also another Canaria song that actually uses synthesizer V's voice bank, Koharu Rika, which I think is really awesome. Like, thank you for giving my girl Rika some exposure. MMD was huge in the anime scene in the early 2000s. Yeah, of course, yeah. Now we're getting straight into the meat of it. You know, what is Miku Miku Dance? You know, Miku Miku Dance, often abbreviated as MMD, is a fairly simplistic piece of 3D animation freeware, initially released by Higuchi M for the Vocaloid promotion video project in October 2007, which was shortly after Hatsune Miku was released in August of the same year. It was made for 3D beginners that were interested in Vocaloid and wanted to produce like really easy promotional videos for their content. I remember training models for Windows 100%. Oh my god, I should have included a section about Windows 100. Okay, so for people who aren't aware of Starry Skies meant... Oh my god, I can't speak! Of Starry Skies, they mentioned Windows 100, which is... it was basically just a magazine that was like about like, you know, geek, otaku, anime content, but often a lot of time they released with like models with each edition, stuff like that. But the thing is, you had to, like, buy the magazine in order to get your hands on it, so people who, like, had their hands on the models would trade them for other models, because they're, like, hard to find. But now you can pretty much find them wherever on the internet. You can probably find some, like, 15-year-old on DeviantArt in, like, 2011 sharing them. Thank you, Chiguini Bere. I don't know how to pronounce that, but thank you for the follow. Welcome to my channel. It was originally discontinued by its developer in 2011, which was version 7.39. However, fan derivatives like Miku Miku Moving, we're not going to be getting too much into it because it's not big at all. Like, no one uses it, but I figured I'd mention it regardless. And fan releases / plugin compilations, like the releases that you'd find on learnmmd.com, was last posted in 2009. Not 2009, 2019. Good lord. Guinevere. I can't read, actually. If you've known me at all for, like, ever, you know that I can't read. So I'm sorry. It currently only runs on Windows computers and uses an older version of the Bullet physics engine. Is LearnMMD still down? No, it's not. It's up. Yeah, I know that LearnMMD was, like, shitting the bed last year, but as of today, I'm pretty sure it's still up. Let's see. So why in the world do people still use MMD if it's so outdated? Well, it has an extremely simple interface, you know, easy to use model shaders and effects with Miku Miku Dance. Thank you, Daylight Color. Thank you for the follow. But the interface for MMD is extremely simple in comparison to other 3D animation softwares that, like, okay, like, the appeal, at least in my opinion, MMD focused solely on animation, while things like Blender and Maya, those are like combined modeling programs and animation programs. They got particle simulation, compositing, and stuff like that. MMD is very, very straightforward. And the thing is, you don't have to like code your own shaders and effects and stuff like that. People make those for you if you're using the if you're using the Miku Miku Effect plugin, which I'm gonna be talking about more. Like, pay attention, I'm gonna be talking about this more. And the thing is about MMD is often people's introductory 3D animation rendering software, including mine. That's how I got into 3D modeling. It's extremely beginner friendly. But with simplicity, you get drawbacks. Like, it's very outdated. It has an extremely old interface. Like, again, it hasn't gotten an official update since 2011. The physics engine sucks ass compared to things like Unity and Blender. The only way to really get around the shitty physics is, like, give all the objects that you want to have physics, like the bones more bones than you think that you need. Wow, and, like, if you, like, I don't like it. I don't like the bullet physics engine. And animation in program is generally more finicky and less smooth than Blender, Maya, etc. I have a feeling this is why the Western community is dedicated to reusing motions over and over. You know, that's the one thing I want to mention. Like, one of the main differences between the Western MMD community and the more Japanese, Chinese, anything that is in the West community is that, like, there's more of an emphasis on, like, reusing other people's content and, like, revitalizing it to make it your own, in quotes, while the Japanese side tends to focus more on, like, original content. I can't judge because, like, the Western MMD community has been flourishing. Specialist, yeah. Is this why VRChat uses the same 6 emotes versus making new ones? Yes, 100%. 100%. Well, here's some important information to know about MMD models, too. They follow a very specific bone naming convention. Like, you have to have very specific Japanese bone names in the model. The English ones don't matter at all. Most MMD rigs that aren't made for just posing should have inverse kinematic legs, which means, like, okay, how do I explain this? There's a bone at the end of the leg that if you drag it upwards, the rest of the leg will come up with it. And arm and IKs are very rarely included with models, but since they're not, like, standard, they're rarely implemented. Most modern MMD rigs are semi-standard bone compatible, which refers to a PMX editor plugin, which I am going to be talking about that in a second. That includes arm X rotate bones, which, like, rotates the arms around its own axis, kind of. 2 upper body bones, and a groove and center bone, which I am going to be talking about soon once we actually start getting into the actual program. Most earlier models only include a groove bone and no mother bones, and a mother bone is basically a bone that moves the entire model, while a groove bone moves the model except for the leg IKs. It's really weird trying to explain it. I will be 100% be showing y'all once we actually get into MMD, and I'll be reiterating that. Eye placement and rotation is done through bones rather than blend shapes, or morphs, as people call it. There's a very specific MMD terminology, morphs, which is used as a synonym for blend shape / shape keys. The groove bone, the mother bone, I'm living millstones. Yeah. All MMD models should be in A pose rather than T pose. Project Diva, most of the game motions require messing around with the model's rig in order to work. Some models include built-in effects, which require the installation of Miku Miku effects to work properly, and most modern models with nice physics, I already talked about it, you need more bones than you think that you need. Here's some basic community ethics if you want to, like, actually, like, get into MMD and, like, touch the community a little bit. I recommend you follow these even regardless if you're getting into the community, because this is just, like, the ethics that everyone seems to follow. Always credit the creators of your models, props, stages, motions, effects. If you use anyone else's content, you should be crediting, like, the creator, 100%. If you edited or assembled an MMD model by yourself using other people's parts, you are expected to credit those individual parts and meshes that you used. This is something that I've noticed as well, like, the past how many ever years I've been in the community. If you're using a model that was assembled rather than made from scratch, like if you're using a Tita edit, for example, it's usually accepted to just credit the person who assembled the parts rather than the individual assets. But you should be crediting the person who made the original base. That's what I've been noticing. Like, for example, if you're using, like, a Tita edit that someone made of Miku, it's like own like a different outfit, hair, and stuff like that, you would credit the person who assembled those parts together, and then Tita. Let's see. You should never edit, sell, or redistribute through means other than linking the original post where the model was released, a model, or use it commercially or for monetary gain, unless the original modeler has given explicit permission to do so. Yeah, like Rice Baller said, usually because the person who made the edit also credits the part. Yeah, it's like a chain of credit. If a modeler puts restrictions on the content you can make with their work, like if they say that you can't make not safe for work content, fetish content, political or religious usages, you're expected to respect those as well, 100%. If a modeler has a download hidden behind a password barrier, you shouldn't share the password with people. You're expected to figure it out for your own. This is especially true for Japanese model creators or content creators. they more often put, like, their downloads behind a password barrier more than the Western side of things. You're expected to respect that. If a modeler has taken down any download, oh my god, that was such weird wording on my part. Oh, and thank you, Stinky Birds, for the follow, and I'm about to redeem that hydrate. 1 second. Ugh. Okay. Like I was saying, if a modeler has taken down, like, any download to their content whatsoever, like, if a download was taken down because too many people were breaking the rules, and, like, there's no public redistribution by the original creator, it's considered a douchebag move if you openly redistribute it. I'm looking directly at the DeviantArt community, who redistributes, like, Mamama models, Nanami models, stuff like that. Ugh. Yeah, commercial use looks directly at the VRChat community. Yeah, like, the thing is, like, a lot of the time when there's, like, I'm not part of the VRChat community, so this is, like, more, like, the perspective of someone who's an outsider looking in. I see a lot of people, like, selling Tita edits and stuff like that. You can't do that, by the way. I am 100% going through the rules of, like, different model types that I see going around. I'm going into that, and y'all better pay the fuck attention, okay? And these are a list of programs and plugins that people often talk about in reference to MMD as well. Miku Miku Effect is a plugin that's used for in-program post-processing effects, as well as, like, model shaders, which is basically the way that, like, the model's, you know, shaded, light, specular, stuff like that. And other visual special effects. In the way that I know these models still do to this day. Yeah. PMD/PMX editor is a tool used to prepare 3D models for MMD. PMD and PMX referring to the actual file type that the MMD models are. Also, hi, Mads. Good to see you, Mads. Hi. Is Tita still active? Yes, Tita is still active. The last time they updated their blog was of October of last year, which I am going to be talking about that post when I'm talking about Tita models. 100%. Let's see. Miku Miku Moving is a fan-made version of MMD and includes soft body physics compatibility, which is basically, like, the implementation of physics through, like, a mesh basis rather than a bone basis, kind of. A higher frame limit, bone layering for animation, which is extremely useful to make smoother, more fluid animations. More animation tools not offered by MMD. However, MMD is not completely Miku Miku Effect compatible and offers very limited support for shaders. Yeah. I got DD, but bet I'm catching this VOD. Good luck, King. You're killing it so far. Thank you, I appreciate it. I'm trying my best out here. And Metasequoia. I used to use this before I got into Blender. It's a very simplified 3D modeling program managed by Tetraface. It's extremely popular with MMD users due to the uncomplicated interface and the ability to export to PMD format without the usage of a plugin or an add-on. It also includes the default MMD armature in program 2, so a lot of people like that. Yeah. And here's a whole section right here I have dedicated to resources for MMD downloads and tutorials and stuff like that. Learn MMD is still up. The site's kind of ass, as you would expect, but it's by far 100% the most comprehensive English site dedicated to information regarding MMD. We're going to be also looking at learnmmd.com too when I talk about, like, installing it, getting Miku Miku effects installed, stuff like that. We're going to be going through that as well. You can find, yeah, okay, I already went over that. It was founded by Reggie Dentmore. Yes, you can find it in the About section of the site. Really good. We have the MME archive, which is, it's an in-development archive dedicated to effects and shaders for the Miku Miku Effect plugin. It's relatively new. And it was founded by Chestnut Scoop, which I believe is in chat. I know she was in chat earlier, but I don't know if she's still here. Yeah, that's the You Project! That's you! That's you! But yeah, I 100% recommend checking that out. I find it to be very interesting. I like how everything is organized. I'm very excited to see how far it actually comes. Sega Nico Video.jp is a Japanese online artist community where many assets are shared. There's very little English activity there, mostly Japanese, so you need a translator. And Bullroll is a file sharing service that's most often utilized by those users. It's most often used for MMD assets and Utao voice banks from what I've seen, but it can be used for other things, but that's mostly what it's used for. DeviantArt. Okay, I know y'all gonna get mad at me, but this must be said. DeviantArt has had one of the most flourishing Western MMD communities for years. 100%. It's not nearly as active as it used to be. Specifically, I blame the Eclipse update fucking everything over, which is basically, it was just a website upgrade, which pretty much, like, it signaled the end of the era of DeviantArt. Yeah, Chestnut is very dedicated in expanding the MMD archive. It's always improving. Yes, I'm very excited. Very excited. Also, hi. Hi, Theo. Hi. Welcome. And thank you for the hydrate. Oh my god, I'm gonna have so much piss inside of me by the time we're done here. And thank you, Omnion, for the follow. Let's see. Well, where was I? Since a lot of the people on DeviantArt tend to be kids, like, not, like, children, but, like, 12 to 15-year-olds that have poor reading comprehension when it comes to terms like copyright and, like, TOS use, you have to be careful about what you download from there. But, like, there's times where you'll download something from DA from a user and, like, it turns out they don't actually own the content or they haven't properly credited what they were supposed to credit. Just be careful. A lot of assets ported to MMD that can be found here are game rips, which are which means that they're, like, mesh objects exported from a video game. Do not use them for commercial projects whatsoever. Do not use them on your VTuber model at all. You should be fine with personal projects, but I would still be careful. Some model creators also restrict the usage of game rips on their models for copyright purposes. Like, for example, YYB, which we are going to be talking about YYB later in the presentation. And there's also a lot of people that, like, upload unauthorized. Yeah, like Seekeeper says, Bullroll specifically doesn't allow game rip downloads, and it's real quick about sniping them. Yes, 100%. I've seen that firsthand with, some other people getting their stuff taken down for having game rip content on there. They're very on their copyright. They're very on their copyright stuff. But what I was saying, there's also, like, it's been a trend for a while for people to be like The Sims 4. People make their own custom content for The Sims 4. What I've seen is that, like, people will, like, rip that content and then re-upload it for MMD on DeviantArt without the original modeler's permission. So, I would recommend not using those. Do not use Sims 4 game rip. Not game rips, but just, like, custom content in general. I don't recommend that. Yeah, see a lot of Sims 4 ripped for VR chat too. Oh boy, that's fun. That's fun. Yeesh. Also, when we're talking about DA, I'm not going to be browsing DA on stream because I have my mature filter turned off and we're going to be seeing some feet and or boobs and or anything not safe for work. So I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that on stream. I don't want to do that. But yeah, feet. There's a lot of MMD feet content on DeviantArt. But like I was saying, so yeah, be careful if you're browsing DeviantArt for MMD content because you're going to find fetish content one way or another. There's also, like, a lot of DA groups dedicated to asset sharing and tutorials and stuff like that. Yeah. Just be careful in navigating DA, but it is a very, very good resource for English MMD content. Let's go next slide. Jump scare! Though MMD is free to use, modelers for MMD are more often than not set restrictions and they implement the terms of usage / readme for their works. Just because a model or whatever is free in price, it does not mean that it's inherently free to use for whatever you want. It's your responsibility as the person that downloads the model to read and respect their terms of use before using their models. This includes fan-made edits and modifications of those models as well. So you need to be following TIDA's rules, like, regardless if it's an edit or not. If the modeler does not explicitly say if something is okay to be done or not okay, always assume that the answer is no. Like, for example, if a modeler doesn't specify that you can't use the model for not safe for work content or not, take the safe route and just don't use it for not safe for work content to begin with. If you can't understand or otherwise translate someone's terms of use or readme, don't use the model. Just don't do it. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, we're going to be talking about an example of this. Sorry about the crusty render. I didn't feel like trying to download the Nanami Teto model and, like, just contact them as their people, because people love being respected and hearing that their work is appreciated. Yeah, 100%. We're going to be talking about Nanami for a second. I wasn't there. I wasn't old enough to really experience what was going on here. But we are going to be... This is, like, from, like, documented things that were going on here. Nanami is, like, the person that's credited for popularizing MMD models for Utao voice banks, like Asane Teto, which is the girl right here in all her crusty glory, Momone Momo and Defoko. They ended up taking down the downloads for their models because of the overexposure of their content and the fact that people kept breaking their rules and stuff like that with their models. They ended up taking that down, and they even, like, at one point issued, like, an IP block for specific countries to, like, not download their works. They released it regardless. Yeah, so I just figured I'd mention this. This has been done before. This will always be done. Modelers will always have the right to take down their content if they see that people are disrespecting their terms of use. 100%. Oh boy. Also, there's some people who actually got super mad when you ask them where they got their asset pieces and refuse to say. Yeah, avoid those people like the plague. 100%. The default models that are included with MMD were created by Animasa and one by Kyo, which I talked about Kyo before. Kyo was the person that created the model for the PV for the first ever Miku demo, which is really interesting in my opinion. But Animasa created models for Miku, Ren, Rin, Ruka, Kaito, Meiko, Haku, and Neru. And Kyo released a Sakane Meiko model that's included by default with MMD. They're lower in quality, they're a lot lower poly, less bones, but the thing is, their simplicity is intentional because they're made for beginners, basically. These models, both Animasa and Kyo, are free to edit and redistribute, but commercial usage is restricted. Yeah, Animasa has been popping up a lot recently. I want to credit Nostalgia for that. But it's I don't know. I think Animasa Miku right here is very, very charming. Very, very charming. I love it. And with people continuously making new models and stuff like that for MMD, the community is going to continue 100%. Until or unless someone makes, like the open Utao of MMD that's continuously updated. That's not Miku Miku moving. Oh my god. We're talking about Tina, baby. We're talking about her. She's my worst enemy. She is the source of all of my problems. No disrespect to Tina. It's a very pretty model. Very, very pretty. But, oh boy, she has caused so much pain and agony in my life. Her design is based off of the box art of Vocaloid, of her append release, because Miku has a different design for her append voice banks. She was originally released behind a paywall on Melon Books, which is basically like a selling site for like weaves and shit like that. Whatever. In 2012. But it was actually taken down by Krypton for violating its character policy in terms of usage, and it's now free to download. The original model didn't have physics, but now she does obviously have physics now, but she also has like an optional add-on for cat ears too, which I think is also very cool. Tina also eventually released version 4 Miku variant of this model in 2017. Yeah, she didn't have physics at one point. Yeah. Tina Pen, she is by far the most edited and redistributed anime-styled model, like, on the internet in general, not just in the MMD community. But, yes, I am going to be talking about Lat eventually. Like, I do have a footnote for Lat, yeah, and I do also want to bring up Lat's model in MMD as well, because I want to show y'all how that model was made. Because that model, like, it was revolutionary for its time. I personally think she's kind of ugly, and always thought that she was kind of ugly. But Lat had to have been, like, the biggest Miku model before Tita came out. Yeah, the Lat face. I'm gonna be talking about the Lat face 100%. Let's see. She's extremely notable for her like iridescent hair and matte cap, her more mature body type in comparison to the models that came before her, long legs, her above average height. And she was also Tita. Tita also assisted in the creation of Kizuna AI's model. And yes, the Kizuna Black NFT is technically an official Tita recolor, which is really funny. And like fuck NFTs, like 100%. But good lord, it's gonna be internally funny to me that the first ever official Tita recolor is an NFT. I'm never going to forgive Kizuna for doing that. Yeah, Tita did help with Kizuna AI. Yeah, recolors are a part of the MMD culture as well. I wish they weren't. NFT, more like no fucking thank you. Yeah. Let's see. And we're gonna be going over the terms of usage as well. Y'all ready? Because I'm gonna be going over these and I'm gonna be hammering these into your brain with a hammer and nail, okay? Hydrate. Can you stop hydrating me? I'm gonna be so full with pee by we're done. Okay, for all of these, I'm gonna be also be including rules that they've like clarified in blogs and otherwise social media posts as well for every single model I'm gonna be talking about here. So, as for editing Tita models, edits of Tita models must stay in the Tita style. They should be clearly recognized as Tita. This is just a straight up translation and like what they say in the English readme. Oh my god, do you guys remember the millions of Kaito siblings that were just recolors? Yeah, those are all derivatives. Real ones remember a Kaito. Everyone remembers a Kaito, that red bitch. Okay, but yeah. When distributing edits of the model, you have to include both the English and Japanese readme files, as well as crediting Tita. You cannot make naked edits of the Tita base. This is specifically to prevent the creation of R18/ not safe for work content that they've clarified. You cannot transport Tita parts onto non-Tita style models. Like, for example, if you have, like, a random anime model and you put the Tita bangs on that anime head, you can't do that. 100%. Cannot do that. And you can't put a Tita head on a non-Tita body, stuff like that. So, all those Tita heads that you see being transplanted onto other people's big booby bases with modeled cooches, you can't do that. You cannot removing parts from non-editable models and placing them onto Tita models is forbidden. Also, any VTuber using Tita faces and bangs are like a big squint. Yeah, I'm gonna be talking about that in a second. Any edit that violates public and moral orders, that's his quote. For example, NC-17, X-rated expression, R18, not safe for work content, you can't do that. No porn, no fetish, no X-rated shit. You can't do that with Tita edits. Or Tita models in general, whatever. Since the original model is based on the Piapro Krypton property, their policies should be represented in terms of usage of this model and edits of this model. This was specifically stated by Tita. So, yeah. Commercial usage of Tita and edits of the model are prohibited unless gain permission from Krypton Future Media and Tita. Tita has actually clarified on their blog in October of last year, which is really, really not so long ago, that VR chat and virtual VTuber content is okay as long as you're not making money from it. He has specified that you cannot be selling data, goods, playback income, advertising income, donations, etc. You cannot do that. You also must describe your model as Tita style in your profile. So, you cannot be making money off of Tita whatsoever unless you get permission from him and Krypton. So, I'm gonna hammer that into everyone's brains. You cannot commercially use Tita models at all unless you get permission from Krypton Future Media and Tita. You cannot do it. And this is how you identify her as in the wild. Let's see, you got the face texture, you have like it's split in the middle, the eyes right here. You know, we got the transparent other face bits like the blush and the eye heart, stuff like that. The ear mesh texture is very specific. Y'all are so lucky I'm not talking about Ruby the anime and how they actually use Tita edits uncredited for like the first couple seasons or whatever. That was so funny. That was so funny, but also kind of fucked up. Yeah, they did. Yeah, they 100% did. Let's see. We got the bang, the eyelash brow shape. Got the hair. The hair is extremely recognizable. Did they use Manticore too? Yes, they also use Manticore hair. Manticore is a modeler for who made like a shit ton of models for the Toho franchise, but they also made a Megarune Luca model as well. So yeah. Let's see. Got very specific mouth shape, textures. The hands look a very specific way. The blush looks a very specific way. You know, this is just how you spot her, like a wild animal, you know. And here are some notable edits that have been going around as well. We got Kagamine Den ending by Geodun. These are the ones that you see the most. We got Megarune Luca by Agahat, or just Aga. She's like the quintessential Luca Tita model. This is the longest lasting Tita edit of Kasane Teto by Reiyama. We got Yowane Haku by Koa. And then we got this Akita Neru model that's been going around for a long time by VK. Yes, I know that VK also released a Deifoku model and a Teto model. They're relatively newer, so I just didn't include them since they haven't been going around as long as the Neru model right here. But yes, these are all Tita edits, 100%. Now we're also going to be talking about Chom. Chom has been around for a good hot second, but I've been seeing that Chom edits have been going around more frequently now than they were in the past. So I'm going to be talking about Chom. This is the Chom Kawakaze model. 40 minutes late by a minute. Yes, hello, welcome. This is the model that I see being edited the most of Choms, which is a fan model of Kawakaze from the Kantai collection, which is a web browser game where World War II naval ships are personified through anime girls. I didn't know that this was a thing until I actually started looking into Chom. Went through a highly popular Urban Land model that had some issues like Tita Miko, something like that, maybe, but I'm forgetful. Chom has also released other characters from this game as well. They also released a Rin model and a few from Kimono Friends. Hello, Sarah Devity, thank you for the follow. Thank you so much. The face mesh is most often ripped from this model, 100%. This face is so recognizable and ingrained in my brain like a mold. It's very cute, but it's very often edited. The hair meshes have been floating around a little bit too, but not nearly as much as the face. Yeah, the Chom cheeks. Oh my god, the Chom cheeks. They've not updated their Nico Nico Twitter and Bull Roll since 2017. So, there's that. And they're very notable for the mole face mesh and very distinct looking mouth morphs. Like, you can recognize these from a mile away. And these very short terms of usage. Editing and redistribution is fine. Commercial usage is not permitted. You cannot make money off Chom at all. Redistribution of the unedited model standalone isn't allowed. And when using the model as Kawakaze as that character, they should abide by the Kantai Collection's official guidelines for derivative works. Which is, this is what I could find. I love you, thank you for this. No problem. Hi, Mickey Media, thank you for the follow. Well, there's this. I do want to provide a copy of this slideshow when we're done here. When I actually upload this VOD to YouTube. Hold on, let me actually get back into slideshow mode. Yeah, I do want to provide this slideshow, like, when we're done here as, like, a link that people can, like, look at and whatever when I actually upload the VOD to YouTube. But this is how you recognize her. She has a very distinct ear shape, very distinct eye shape as well. The mouth morphs, you can't miss them. She's extremely expressive. The face texture looks like this. You know, the head is in the lower left corner. Yeah, commercial usage is a really big sticking point in the community. A lot of people try and grift off others with, like, link shares and parts that aren't even theirs. Yeah, with fucking bit.ly links and stuff like that. Can't do that. You're making some kind of monetary gain off the models. Can't be doing it. She's got very distinct curvy cheek shape. Very puffy. And when it comes to, like, notable usages, since Chom has been being edited a lot more recently than it has in the past, it was very difficult to, like, try and come up with examples. But I'm sure y'all have seen these models at one point. These were model edits by Moyono, but they're going by Mono Serial now, from what I'm aware of. Hi, Mono, if you're here. I love you. I love your work. They created these Doki Doki Literature Club model edits using you know, Chom. and they were used in Magical Pouch of Magic's Doki Doki Forever MMD music video, as well as the male cover by Caleb Howells. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. I've never had to say his name out loud. Never. But yep, these are charm edits, 100%, which I think is very interesting. Now we're on to Sour. English MMDCB like this model maker has provided a free model out of their love for the MMD community. How can I make money off their work and goodwill? Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Well, now we're talking about model, because these are also a lot... Okay, these are, like, newer made models. Very, very new. And they've been blowing up a ton. Yeah. They're fan outfits derived from, more inspired by the original designs for the Vocaloids Miku, Rin, Ren, and Luca. They're relatively newer model types. Luca was released in 2019, and the Miku models were updated in 2020, where the original upload was, like, made in 2017. They're extremely quick to rise in popularity if you've been paying attention. But they've been making a lot of Arknights fan works as well, other than Vocaloid. Yeah, the disrespect for Sour is fresh. It hasn't had time to mature as well as, like, Tita or anything else. Yeah, Sour's models are very, very soft. I really like how, like, high contrast the outfits and the hairs are in comparison to, like, the peachy skin. Very, very cute. Commercial and monetary usage is not permitted. Not safe for work, political, or religious usages, not permitted. Insulting other individuals or countries are not permitted. Violating public order, lack of good sense, just being a general dumbass with the models, not permitted. Claiming the model as your own, claiming to be Sour, not permitted. Editing and redistribution of edited models is permitted only if the model remains recognizable as Sour-styled, and Sour's readme must be included with the model if you redistribute it. Transplanting individual parts from Sour models onto other model types is permitted. The model editor, if distributing the edited model, is permitted to include their own readme as well. It's extremely similar to Tita's, where, like, yeah, Sour's physics are really, really good. Those Sour models are so pretty. And YYB as well. I am going to be talking about YYB, just hold in there. This is how you recognize Sour. I really like how the pupils move with the lashes, like, proportionately as the model blinks. I think that's really, really cool. Let's see. We got the bright pupils. We have the really low contrast mouth. A very distinct side profile that you don't really find with a lot of other anime-style heads. Another thing that's notable is that, like, the eye texture is separate from the rest of the head and body, while, like, the head and body textures are one image. It's a very, very interesting way of making it, and I think it's very cute. I like Sour. Sour models are very nice. Very, very nice. Yeah, Sour models led to the generic raycast lighting trending Celtron. Well, speak of the devil, we're talking about those two. Yeah, I'm tired to death of this trend where, it's just copy-paste model motions with the raycast shader and the really bright rim light. I'm tired. I'm tired of it, and I want it to end. But they get views, so who am I to complain? I just need a new trend to push it out, which is going to take another year or two. Yeah, I'm just waiting for this entire trend to die out. It's just flat shading, no color correction or anything like that, with a very sharp and intense rim light with a really wide radius so it encompasses all the model. Yeah, chalk it up to people not knowing how to use raycast well. I just chalk it up to people not knowing how to light their fucking scenes. Like, they see 3-point lighting, and they're like, okay, this is really cool. Let me get rid of the key and the fill light, and let me just, like, do it all rim light, 100%. And then they think that it looks good, and then other people that don't know what they're looking at thinks that it looks good too, so they blow up. No shade. Sorry, I'm talking a little bit of shade. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. I'm tired of it. I'm tired. Most of the community have no idea what they're doing with the Ray. It's all copy-paste the same setting every video. Yeah, 100%. 100%! Oh, that's really funny. We're also going to be talking about YYB here. YYB has also been a victim. YYB models have been a victim of this raycast trend too, and it makes me so upset because YYB is so pretty. YYB has released 2 different versions of their models. They released their original models in 2014 with Miku, and then Rin and Len were released in 2015. The newer versions for Miku and Nikagaminis were released in 2017, which you can see there's a really huge shift in both quality and art style, which I think is very fun. Very, very fun. Other variants are notable for their super bright matte caps and spas, their larger heads, and high contrast, while newer versions are noticeably more mature in art style and use more saturated tunes. Tunes are basically just, they're like individual bitmap files that like dictate what color and how sharp the shading is for the mesh on the model. I am going to be going into that more because I do actually want to have a whole presentation for like PMX editor and stuff like that. You see the YYB Twitter, the Nubiku looks slick. I believe that I've seen it and it's very pretty. Yes. Also, the newer models also include their own built-in effects files, which of course can't be used unless you have Miku Miku effect installed. But I think that's very, very interesting. YYB is primarily known for their Vocaloid models in the West. However, they've also produced a large amount of models for the characters from the game Kawaii Strike. And here's their terms of usage. I included both the original and the modified version for the 10th anniversary models, as well as clarifications that they've posted. You cannot use the YYB models as of... Okay, so... you can't use them to violate public in order or lacking wise and subtle judgment. Can't do that. Yes, I'm gonna be talking about the game rep thing in a second. Hydrate. Stop! I'm gonna be filled with so much pee! Theo, stop! Oh my god. Ugh. You cannot use stretch. Please. Oh my god. Ugh. Stretch. I'm drinking water, I promise. You cannot use YYB models commercially, or for any kind of monetary usage. Political, religious, R18/Nate safe for work, or violent works. Those aren't permitted with YYB models. Oh shit, the Lewis Griffin 5 minutes! Aw shit. Well, I should have actually disabled that for this stream because I want to be informative as possible. But is there any way... Okay. Well, looks like I'm doing the Lewis Griffin voice for a hot second. Yeah, I'll do it at the end. Yeah, I'll save all those Lewis Griffin voices for the end. 1 second, let me actually write this down. Notepad. 1 Lewis Griffin 5 minutes. Just gonna put that over here. Gonna save that. Let's see. You can't use to contempt, insult other people or countries. Can't do that. You can't use the model in a manner that would confuse the original modeler, YYB, such as, like, using it for television or an animated production, companies, magazines, stuff like that. Like, something that, like, wouldn't, like, make the credit inherently seen, kind of, and, like, make people think that the models were made by someone else. I'm assuming that that's what YYB is talking about. That's what I'm getting out of it. You can't use the model to belittle the original author or original motion. Don't know what that means, but it's not permitted, but I'm including it anyways. You're claiming to be the creator of the model. Can't do that. Editing and redistribution is fine. The YYB parts cannot be transplanted onto other models, like putting YYB Miku's twin tails onto another model. It's really useful as I try to write my own TOS. Oh, hell yeah, kakaya. Hell yeah. Let's see. You can't put YYB twin tails onto another model. Both Japanese and English readmes must be included with the model of redistributed, as well as modeler's readme. The editor's readme, I'm sorry. And YYB must be credited. And as for the clarified terms of usage that was released with their 10th anniversary models, commercial monetary usage, not permitted. Political, religious, R18, not safe for work or violent works, not permitted. Editing and redistribution of edits is permitted. And there's something that they added here. No transplanting, the readmes must be included. YYB must be credited, and YYB styled edit must be included in the title of the model. And this is new. This was, clarified on YYB's DeviantArt account in 2017. It should be refrained from using game asset model assets. Why did I say asset twice? I proofread this like 20 million times, but I didn't see that. Whatever. You shouldn't be using game assets on YYB edits. If done so, the model should be made for personal usage only and not be redistributed. This is specifically for like copyright stuff, like what I was talking about before with like DeviantArt being like flooded with game assets. It's just all copyright stuff that you should be careful about. But that's YYB. Here's some notable usages. YYB has been a victim of raycast harsh rim lighting disease with a motion that does not belong to the original creator. Except for this, I kind of like the color grading on Butterfly on your right shoulder, but I'm not like the effect usage of the soda wave is really nice, but like I don't know. I wish it was just original content, you know. But yeah. No, my video's plops. Okay, just wait. Here's some other notable important models that I'm not going to be... wait. A lot of long-time MMD model makers and a long-timer have been really good at hitting all the key points in their me. They're a great example. Yes, 100%. YYB is very explicit in what they do and do not allow. But here's some other notable models. New models, yeah. Okay, awesome. It's fine, don't worry about it, Rice. Lat Miku. She was the Tita before Tita existed. Everyone used Lat. And I do want to actually open up Lat Miku up in MMD because I want to show y'all how her model was made. She was made in a very specific way that was considered revolutionary for the time. And you're going to see why. You're going to be like, oh, Mads, what the hell are you talking about? How could Lat have made this model in a way that's like special? You're going to see, and it's going to be really funny. We got the Project Diva and Appearance Mikus by Ma. These have had a lot of impact as well. Let's see. I already talked about Nanami. Nanamis have had a huge impact in the MMD community. Ma was so great for my low power laptop back in the day. Yes, so low poly, the original Project Diva model. Good lord, but she's so pretty. Rummy styled series are very widespread, but like they're relatively older, but they're still very charming in their own way. Mama is the most iconic Miku, let's say that. Yeah, 100%. Thank you, Seto Kiano. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to my channel. We're talking about MMD. And I'm talking about Kyo. As I've already said, Kyo is the one that made the Miku model for the official animated PV for 01 Ballad, which is the first ever Miku demo. So absolutely iconic. Kyo is an iconic modeler, and Kyo does not get enough credit, like currently modern day MMD usages. Like, oh my lord. Oh god. Here's some modern applications. We're gonna be talking about the Rebirth design, okay? Let's see. Well, okay, so the Rebirth design is, hold on, I'm trying to like organize my stuff over here. Well, Rebirth. Okay, it's an MMD design. It's English, right? It's created by various more high-end MMDers to create like high-end, I mean like people who kind of like know what they're doing. To create digital, it's a digital non-profit art book, so no profit whatsoever. Design features the best of what MMD can produce in a range of stylizations to the MMD community, and to prove that MMD art is valid, worthy, important. That you can make good content with MMD if you really try hard enough. Like we have the realism and semi-realism category up here. We got cell shading and manga type shading right here, with the Game Rip model, and then the Panda Hirogumi right here. These are some really nice sneak peeks, by the way. I'm very happy that I got my hands on these, you know? This is a style of photo manipulation. We got grayscale. I also have a link here to the Twitter. As I said, I am going to be providing a link to the actual Twitter account. I'm very, hold on. Actually, let me just copy this. Let me copy this. Let me send this in chat. Check it out if you're interested. 100%, I recommend it. Let's go back into here. Let's get out of here. No, I didn't want to go to that slide yet. Stop. But yeah, these are some also notable not modelers, I mean like just original animators that make their own animated content that isn't like strictly music video content. We got Kakaya, who's in chat. We got Neoli. We got Sweet Bee Girl. Sweet Bee Girl has been around since like the height of like waist up motion days. My lord. And we got Hoshicho. Hoshicho used to make a lot of like Steven Universe content, which I remember very explicitly. Oh boy, those were the days. But Hoshicho mostly makes like Miraculous Ladybug content now. And then for like music video content, we've got Devity, we got Crayfish, the Soda Wave, we got Seto, we got Pizza CG, we got MXMV. There's so many people that make music video content now. It's very exciting. It's exciting to see how many people here are actually about this. This clearly, obviously isn't all of them, but this is just people that come to mind. May also, yes. And some more modern applications. Let's talk about the Nico Nico Cho parties. These are, they're just live shows for like Nico Nico users to come together and like show what they can do. There's portions dedicated to Vocaloid content. I do have links here to both 2015 and 2016, I believe. And they're also like very new, modern, official MMD releases for vocal synth banks as well. Such as we got the Mekas for Vocaloid 5, we got Flower Talk. Those are official. They're made by MQDL. And the fact that there are official Genshin Impact MMD rips. So that's really interesting. That's really cool and good. Which is, that explains the huge like surge of like MMD Genshin Impact content. Which is very fun. Got Western trends as well. I'm going to be going off here for a second. Waist up motions are basically, you know, they're very self-explanatory. They kind of like reached their peak in around like 2015 to 2017, but they're still very much a thing. You can expect it's going to be like a Tita edit. Waist up is animated only, while lip syncing and like moving their arms around to like typically an edgy type song. It was a dark era, very dark era, but they got views. We got MMD Vine compilations or MMD or just Vine motions, but the thing is, the word Vine in the MMD community is referred to like literally any short video content that's considered funny to them. They're also referred to like piece of media on crack, like for example, Attack on Titan on crack, Yandere Simulator on crack, Undertale on crack. You can guarantee that you're gonna find something like that. Yet keywords to them, yeah. Let's see, and then we have copy-paste music video content, which is most often motion rips of the Project Diva series, the series, Seto on crack. Yeah, that phrasing was a lot more popular in like the 2015 era. You don't really see it as often, but surprisingly, Vine compilations, like, with that exact wording, or even, like, use, like, TikTok compilations, are, like, they're still very much prevalent. Not nearly as much, but they're still around. But, like, again, like I said, the copy-paste motion music video content, using, like, the same motion, same songs, but with, like, different models and different effect usages. It's essentially the same content, but just, like, with a little twist, you know? Wait, is my playlist over? No, it's not. Okay, I'm fine. Oh god, just remembering all the Melanie Martinez motions. Yeah, we out here with the waist-up Melanie Martinez motions, you know. Very iconic for that time. And we got very specific non-Vocaloid fandom examples that I think are notable enough for me to talk about, especially from the perspective of someone who's experienced all of these. We're gonna talk about Swapmare for a second. Oh my god, does Yuri have their own slide because their motion will ever be famous? No, I'm sorry. Okay, we're gonna be talking about Swapmare for a second. For those that weren't aware, or who weren't in the 5 Nights at Freddy's community in, like, I don't know, 2015, 2016, something like that. These models were fucking revolutionary. It's not that they were, like, technically impressive. They were not impressive whatsoever. All of us were like 14 at the time, because of course it was only like 14-year-olds and 13-year-olds and shit getting into FNAF, right? So of course we're sitting here like, holy fuck, these are awesome. It was basically just like Vocaloid characters as like the 5 Nights at Freddy's main cast, like 1 through 3. Like we had Mako as Freddy, we had Gakpo as security guard, Nadu as Springtrap, Kaito as the puppet. And then more infamously, we have Peto as Mangle, Adin as Chica, Miku as Bonnie, and then fucking Len as as Balloon Boy. Yeah, these models were so sought after, especially. Wait a minute. Hold on. Lemonade? Lemonade, thank you for the sub! Welcome! Hi! Welcome! Welcome, welcome, welcome! Thank you so much for the prime sub! Welcome! But yeah, after Swapmare took these models down, because they were taken down very quickly from what I'm aware of, these were so sought after. Like, oh my god. Hello, I'm a bit late, but thank you for the lesson. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, there's so much happening. There's so much happening. I'm being overwhelmed. I'm being overwhelmed. Thank you, Sir Devney, for the prime sub. I don't know why that isn't coming up, but thank you for the prime sub. But yeah, these FNAF models right here is what pretty much ignited the entire MMD FNAF community to exist and to still exist. Like, this was the spark that created all of those white-ass Tita FNAF women that you'll find on DeviantArt. This is the spark. It was awful. No, let's bully MMDers into going to Blender. Yeah, I'm tired. Metasequoia is ass. Let's get into Blender. Yandere simulator content was extremely popular for a while, and I blame Drosy SW, but their new DeviantArt username was meow. This model is what created a slope into hell, which also sparked a ton of Yandere simulator meme Vine compilation content. You know, fun. Really, really fun. And also, there's no way I can't mention Undertale content as well, which was 100% fueled by Magical Pouch of Magic, who released these, a whole ton of different Undertale MMD models. A ton of them. But the most notable of them were these Sans models right here, because these have been edited to death. And because of these, we've got extremely popular like animated content by Pukagaru Kiss. Again, we got Magical Pouch of Magic. We got Wish Upon a Crane. And then there were Monos Frisks models. Oh my god, there's no way. I completely forgot to mention Monos Frisks models. Good lord. Yeah, Mono Serial also released some Frisk MMD models, which is this model right here. This is the Kara model that they released, which also has made rounds a ton. Yeah, the Tita edit, and you got it. Yeah. Yeah, there's no way that I can just not mention Undertale MMD. And Q&A, because we're gonna be actually moving on to like how to install MMD and then actually opening it up and like messing around with it a bit. Any questions at all before we move on? I gotta sit here for a minute. I need a drink. My throat hurts. How long have I been in the MMBC? Since I was like 14, 13. So I want to say like, I started somewhere between 2014 and 2015. I'm also gonna take an extra sip of water for that hydrate. Again, I'm a lot younger compared to a lot of the people who are into MMD in the early days. So I didn't get to experience a lot of the, like, the classic content, I guess. Ugh, water. Water. Any other questions about, like, MMD things that I should answer? Stretch. Are MMD models triangulated? Yes, they are. MMD models are 100% triangulated. No quads will be found in an MMD model. which kind of sucks. But you know, what can you do? So, can you import a custom model from scratch into the program, but then you have to rework it? Yeah. You'll have to use PMX editor, which is something that I do want to go over eventually in a different stream. Do you have to triangulate before converting to PMX? No, it automatically converts. When you when you convert a model to PMX format or PMD format using Blender or whatever, you are gonna get triangulation regardless. Ugh. Okay, what was the question? Can you import a custom model from scratch in the program, but then you have to rework it? Yes. Yes. Typically the way that I do it is I get all my model stuff done that you would typically do with a model in Blender. And then I have the MMD Tools add-on from Blender, which can convert the model armature that you've created to PMX that you can then export and then import into PMX editor so you can configure and get all that ready for MMD. It's kind of a bitch to get models together. Kind of a bitch. Because you have to worry about getting that rig together, renaming all your bones. You have to like get all the facial morphs named. Do you know about shaders having issues with V-Word models? They tend to light parts super weird, like solid white. Okay, so I haven't actually messed with a V-Word model in MMD for a long time. But what I can assume, based off of the wording of your question, that it's a specular issue, that you need to, like, reconfigure it in PMX editor and, like, you get that fixed instead of, like, using a plugin or whatever. Oh my god, excuse me. Okay, PMX is a pain. I've been using it for years now. Spoiler, where I can't make morphs from scratch. Oh boy, do that in Blender, then import it to PMX. Oh yeah, so I'm assuming that we're done here. If no one else has any other questions, I'm gonna go one more round, just in case. I don't want to leave anyone out if there's anyone that's still typing. What's your favorite part about using MMD? Nothing, I hate it. No, okay. I want to say that the effect usage through the MMA plugin is extremely convenient. And I really like that aspect about it, and the fact that all the effects that you're gonna find are, like, free, and you don't have to, like, pay for them or configure them yourself. It was, yeah, MMD was a game changer. Yes. If you're using viewer to PMX translation app, you had to edit files after. Yeah. What's your favorite video? Hold on. Let me pause my playlist, because I gotta show y'all my favorite video. Oh my god, what was it called? I'm trying to find it. There was this one with, like, Animasa models, where, like, there's Neru and then Miku. Oh my god, I have to find it. It's very, very good. It's very, very good. Where is it? I found it! Oh my god, I think it was part of the, MMD Cup, maybe? And the MMD Cup is basically just, like, an animation competition. We're watching this real quick. This is my favorite video of all time. Let me boost that up to 480p. This is top 10 videos of all time. Let me turn that audio up. This is the video of all time. Like, the animation is so nice, too. Like, it's, oh, so good. Good afternoon, Professor. Hello, welcome. You missed the presentation, but we're gonna be going into MMD very, very soon. I just want to show this video. Oh, what's going on? Oh, here it comes. Yeah, the classic Beam Man effects. Beam Man is basically an effect creator that's released a shit ton of effects. And he's still, like, doing effects too to this day. There's just something so inherently impressive about, like, MMD action content that satisfies my poor little monkey brain. Oh boy. Oh, her. That Luca model, good lord. Oh, I've missed you, my dear. The mixed match MMD models, of course. I'm sorry, how could I forget Ula? I'm sorry. Happy monkey brain. Action MMD content satisfies, like, my monkey brain so much. I want to make one of these so bad one day, but also I hate animating in MMD. It's just a frustrating experience. I can do Blender just fine. It's just animating in MMD that makes me angry. To be fair, there's a lot of cool model types up there. Yeah, I can only get into a small fraction of them because there's so many that exist. Oh, hell yeah, go, get him. Get her ass. Oh, the part where Lucas spins. Ah, chills. Yes. You ever watch those Toho MMDs? I would just make some Tom and Jerry episodes. Yes, I saw that. Yes, I saw that. That is the video of all time. On the broom physics. Oh my god, yes. Maybe if like we find that video, I might show it. Oh, here comes Nedu. Oh boy. Yeah. Hey, back in my day, physics on your broom was a gift. No, this was a good thing. It's a good thing. Eh? I'm just gonna keep the cast and the model credits and stuff like that on until we watch the end here. Teleports away, nothing personnel, kid. Get the tools, all that. Yeah. Okay, who's ready to get into MMD? Who's ready? Who's ready for MMD.exe? Okay, my interface is kind of different because I have like a custom color scheme set up because I love blue and blue makes me really happy. Well, actually first, let me actually go into learn MMD first because I want to teach you how to install it. Yeah, custom colors, yes, of course I do. This is learnmmd.com. This is the quintessential MMD education site. Let me actually turn back on my music. Where is it? Where's my other Firefox window? Let's see, intro to playlist. We got that one. Play. Thank you. Okay, so, anyways, this is the quintessential MMD site that I recommend going to if you have never opened MMD in your life. This site is kind of bad. It's a really shit site. It has been down a lot last year, but currently it is up. And you're going to find it. The only issues maybe crashing Learn MMD are people getting errors for Windows 10. Yeah, hold on. You're gonna find the downloads page right here, where you're gonna find the most recent plugin compilation, stuff like that for MMD. It's also going to tell you what you need to have installed before you start MMD. Get the 64-bit version. Let's see. Where's the website looks like it has free RAM download there. Yeah. Okay, but 100%, this is a trustworthy website. This is the website of all time. Let's see. I don't use this version of PMX Editor. I want to actually link a version of PMX Editor that I currently use. This is where you should get Miki Miku Effect. This is a plugin that you will also need if you want to use any kind of like effects or post-processing in MMD. Let's see here. Is there any other information that I would need to let y'all know about on this page? No. A lot of this is just tutorial assets that you can download if you really want to. And there's also an entire troubleshooting page as well if it'll load. Yes, the pages load like that. Yes, they double up the web page. Yes, that's normal. There's a lot. Go to this page if you're seeing errors. There's also a comment section at the bottom here that people will be discussing down here that you might be able to find the answers that you're looking for as well. Let's see here. We got tutorial categories. We got step-by-step MMD instructions right here, which is oh my god, the crust on this website. But it's useful. It's useful. So what can I say? Now let's say we have MMD installed. You have Miki Miku Effect installed. You have everything working, all this good, and you're looking at this like, wow, this looks like it was made in 2007, and you're right because it was. This is your view. You navigate moving up and down by using the middle mouse button. You rotate using right click. Let's see here. You can zoom in just using the scroll. We're going to be talking about this part in a second. The crust is bad in a good way, yeah. We're going to be worrying about this portion right here when we actually load, like, accessories and effects and actual models in. But for right now, just be aware that this is a thing. This is the MMD effect, Miku Miku effect window. You're not gonna know what's going on here for a second, but once we get models and effects in, you're gonna know. Let's see. We got the play button where you'll play your animation. We have some automatic snapping, front, back, left, right. Let's see. We got the camera. You can change from perspective to an orthographic view. That's like non-perspective. You can also change the view angle from here as well. And also here you can also set like, you can make the camera stick to a specific bone name, a bone. I find it funny when people discover you can click local to accessory stuff. Yes, yeah. You can change the lights, stuff like that here, but you're not going to see anything because we don't have a model loaded in. And the light angle, because there's like one global light that you have in MMD unless you like load in any extra effects, which we are going to be talking about too. And we also have the accessory manipulation panel, which loads in .x files, which can be meshes, they can be effects, they can be stages, you know, stuff like that. The interpolation curve, we're going to be talking about that soon. This is the display pane where you're going to be seeing all your keyframes. Yes. So first, we're actually going to load in a model. Y'all are not going to see it because I don't want y'all looking at my shit. Let's see. Let's say we wanted to load in... Oh, actually, I want to load in Lat Miku real quick because I want to show y'all how she looks. Where is she? Where's my music? Where'd y'all go? Why are you so quiet? Charles, of course. Okay, let me load in, Lat Miku. Okay. So when you first load in a model, you're gonna get a pop-up. If it has no English data, it'll say this, and there'll also be like, there'll be another thing that pops up as well, but I'll be showing you. Let's see here. This is Lat Miku. She's the, hold on. Let me move that down, with the audio down. Sorry, I didn't realize the audio was still really loud. This is Lat Miku. She was revolutionary for her time. The thing is, with her face, yeah, I'm gonna put a shader on her face. You're gonna think, oh, this is just a typical anime girl model. Let's load in an effect. For example, let's load in, let's say, adult shader. Now you can see how she was made. The face mesh right here is like inverted vertices, like the normals are flipped, but the mouth and the eyes parts aren't. So you're always gonna get like a toony type look when you rotate around the face. You're always gonna see the mouth. But yeah, so that's what happens when you load a shader on her face. We're just gonna remove that. And the thing is that's notable with older models, you're not gonna have a mother bone right here. You're only gonna have a center bone right here, which moves the model. Except for the IKs. So if you want to move, like, let's select all and move. In order to move the entire model, you have to select all and then move it. But the thing is, okay, how to actually, like, in order to select a bone, you have to go to the bone manipulation panel right here, click select, right? And then you should be, like, the selected bone that you want to move will turn red. If you did not register the bone's position to the display pane, it will be green. So whenever you want to like put a keyframe into this display pane, like for example, register that first position. Let's go forward like 10 frames. Let's rotate this upwards. You have to click register in order for that frame to be processed. So when you play it, it'll do it. Actually, hold on. Let me actually go to frame like 10, register, so you can see that better, because it's kind of weird when it comes to, you know, stuff like that. I'll rotate it upwards. Register. Currently, we're on a local access, so if you want to go globally, you can just click that. And it'll change from, like, the local and global axes. Okay, let's register that. We already did. So when you play, it'll play, right? So what's this interpolation curve right here? Okay, sorry, the cloud and my layout is in the way. Let me actually move that. Let me just hide those for a second. This interpolation curve right here basically affects like how quickly that bone is going to rotate or move in between the two keyframes from one position to another. The one that I find gospel, I just have mine on all right now, which is going to affect all the axes that these are going to move on. I just go with like a simple S motion, like this. And I currently have this keyframe selected, so this movement is going to occur from these two bones. So when you see, did you see that? It kind of like moved slowly and then a little bit quicker. It's a lot smoother. There's also a camera smoother that did all the interpolation that helped so much. Yeah, there is actually an external application for that, yeah. Let's see here. What else did I want to show here? Okay, so let me actually get rid of that right now because I want to load in a more modern model that's going to give a better idea of what most models, what you're going to be working with if you like are doing MMD now. Let's see. Let's go with I have this Tita Teto model, which is by Nekomiki. It's just an edit, texture edit. Let's say, hypothetically, you wanted to load a motion onto this model, right? You'd go to model. You can choose whatever you want to load into right here. So we're just gonna, go with Teto. You can see that these names right here are null, which means that the English bone names for this model have not been named. But since the Japanese names are here, like you might want to go into Japanese mode through the help thing, you can see that these are all named. Let's go back into English mode. Let's say we want to load Love and Joy onto here, right? We go to File, Load Motion Data, and the motion name, like if you downloaded a motion, it's going to be in VMD format. You double click on that. You're going to have this pop-up that says, is this motion file is the data for whatever the model's name is that like was originally made for the motion. You can register the motion, only the same bone name. Are you okay? Yes, I'm okay. You load that in. It's going to take a second. And you can see, hold on, I'm going to skip ahead like 800 frames because she just kind of like stands there for a second. You can see that it actually loads in. But let's say, hypothetically, you wanted to load this in on a model that's smaller, right? Let's say you wanted to load it onto a rummy model. Let me bring up a rummy model. Where are you? Rummy, let's load in, this Gakpo model. It's all in Japanese, that's fine. Let's say we wanted to load that same motion onto this smaller model right here. Or like any model that's, like, it could go for any size, but this is useful for pretty much any of that. Let's load the motion data. Let's load that same motion in again. It's gonna take a second. And when we play, you can see that the movements are a lot more exaggerated, right? No one should move like that. So what we're going to do, if you don't already have all those bones selected, we're going to go to Edit, select all bone frame. And then we're going to go back to Edit, multiply a bone frame position angle. We are not going to mess with the angle. We're only going to mess with the bone place, right? We're only going to do this incrementally so we don't, like, fuck it up. Let's say, let's go with 0.5. Only go with this row right here on the left. This is the multiplier that you're going to be, like, multiplying that bone position. Okay. And then when you play it, it's gonna be normal. So, because I'm bringing this up because I see this happening a ton with people that are like loading MMD motions onto models, and it looks like they're going all over the place because they're either too big or too small for that motion. Well, keep that in mind. That will fix all of your problems. Okay, let's delete this and let's just get like a normal sized like Tita model in here. Let's go back to that Teto model that I had in. I knew there was a way to do that, but never knew how to do it, so thank you. No problem. Let's load this back in. And let's also load back in the love and joy motion. Let's see. Got that. Let's say, what do we want to do now? Wait. No, I loaded it at the wrong frame. I fucked it. Okay, just make it, okay. Rookie mistake. Let's see. I'll make sure at frame 0, load motion. Loveandjoy.vmd. And if you wanted to load in a motion for a camera, you basically did the same thing, except for you do it on the oh my god, the camera light accessory view. Where you go file, load motion data, and it should be like written as the file name that's for the camera. But for right now, I'm just gonna turn off perspective mode. I'm gonna just place this right here and then register it. I'm gonna turn off this global axis by clicking this axis button right here. And as you can see right here, there's a ground shadow that's showing up by default. We are going to go into view, display ground shadows. We're going to turn that off. And now, also, if you click the right and left arrow keys on your keyboard, that's like one frame shifting forward and back. I also want to set this global light to like center, just have us like straight up frames forward. Yeah, we don't need the default shadows. Yeah, don't forget to turn that off. Do not forget to turn that off. Let's see here. What do we want to do now? Let's say we want to load a stage in, right? Stages, for the most part, either come in like PMX or PMD format or .x format. Let's say we want to load... So, if you have a .x style stage, you want to load it in through the accessory manipulation. Let's see, what do I have on hand that's a .x file? Main stage, right here. This is basically a mesh, right here. Let's see here. Skyboxes are also a huge thing, which are like just basically like huge spheres that with inverted normals that like, they're just skies for your stage. So let's see, I have this in here somewhere. Pink sky, sky dome. Go ahead, take your time. I know it's really big. Where is it? Where is it? Cool, I guess it's just not here. Whatever, I guess we're not using that. Whatever. Let's see here. I know I have another one. Sky dome pack. Cloudy blue. There we go. These are basically just sky domes. Classic MMD trickery. Classic. So, okay, we're gonna have the sky dome in. Let's load in a stage. Maybe. Let's see here. How common is it to see people after custom model moves choreo stages? I feel like I see more modelers who do. Okay, okay, you are gonna find a ton of stages on DeviantArt and Bull Roll, I'll tell you that. For motion data, you should look at YouTube or Nico Video, 100%. Literally just look up MMD Motion DL in YouTube, and you will find many things. Let's see here. What was I gonna load in? Let's see here. I know I wanted to, like, load something in specifically. I remembered it in my brain, but now that I'm actually browsing through my stage files, I can't find what I was looking for. Is it this one? Might take a second. No, this isn't it. This is a totally separate thing. You know what? Might as well just load in a grid then, whatever. We're not gonna do an actual stage. Grid. Load in TK grid, which is basically just a grid floor. You can find a lot of these online if you just Google it. And I also want to load in working floor. No, I don't want to open it like that. Where is it? Working floor is essentially just a, like, mirror floor effect. It's not going to reflect whatever, like... Yeah, working floor and grid were so overused when they came out. Yeah, these were, like, milked to death. But I'm just gonna use it just for the sake of, like... this tutorial. Actually, let's set the camera right here so we can actually see the floor. You see these values right here in the accessory panel? These can, like, manipulate the aspects of whatever you're working with, like the size. Like, if I wanted to make this floor bigger, I would set this size to, like, 10, then register, and it's gonna be, you know, 10 times bigger, right? And then transparency, I want to set this, like, make it not so opaque. Let's say 0.3. You can see it made it, you know, less like that, you know? Let's go back to the camera I was at. Let's see. And now let's say I wanted to load a shader onto this model. I would go to Mikimiku Effect, Effect Mapping. I would select the model that I want to apply it to. Don't mess with any, like, effect files that will show up in here because they will already have something loaded. And don't mess with any of these either unless, like, the effect creator specifically says that they should be messed with. So we're going to click on tedokasane.pmx, set effect, and then we're going to load the effect file that we want to load on. Like, for example, let's say I want to load in, well, what should I load in that's, like, obvious, but not, like, too jarring? Like, greener shader, maybe? Hold on. Yeah, let's go with G shader, neutral soft light. This one. You're gonna load that on. Looks kind of like shit, but that's fine. I'm only doing it for the sake of the tutorial. I'm definitely gonna come back to this VOD later. That's good. Load that on. Whatever shader you're gonna load on, it's gonna be a .fx file. A lot of MMD tutorials are either old or AF or in Japanese, so the stream is a gift from the god that is me. Oh! Okay, but yeah, that's how you load an effect on, right? And let's play this. And let's also say, hey, the physics are kind of, like, too much, right? Let's stop, let's click play, let's go to physical operation, gravity setting, 9.8 if you paid attention in high school. This is, like, the default gravity value of Earth. So, if you want to make the gravity, like, movement not so intense, I usually set mine to 5. So it's not nearly as quick. And plus, I just think it looks prettier. It's kind of subtle, but, like, I like it. You know? Man, where do I get working for? I can't find it, but I'm stupid. A lot of people... Okay. Hold on. Let me actually see if it's on the Mikimiku Effect archive. Let's see. Where are you? Which page was it? Which one was it? Let's go to the MME archive. Here's the MME archive site, by the way. It's not yet. Sorry. Okay. Well, regardless, this is the site. Yeah, it's by, Harigane P. Yeah. Okay, so... I know this is bad, but okay, not really. Okay, no. Because people don't straight up just re-upload the effects files. A lot of people, like, re-upload, like, there's, like huge effect compilations on DeviantArt that you'll find. So I recommend looking there. Mostly because, like, it's all in English and easier to navigate. Let's see. What else should I do here? Let's say I want... Okay. Also, I forgot to mention. If you wanted to load a WAV file into MMD, it needs to be, in 16... Whatever. What's it called? Okay, just know if you're exporting a WAV file from Audacity or whatever, it needs to be... Check the option that says 16, then you should be able to load it into MMD. I think. I'm pretty sure. Or I could be getting confused with the Vocaloid software. I haven't actually loaded a WAV file into MMD in so long, actually. But just know it needs to be in a very specific format. Or the AVI file needs to be in a very specific format too, which will basically load the AVI file in the background. Hold on. I know that there's like whole tutorials on how to do that. You ever get AVI files to load into 3.9.32? I have at one point, because I had to use like the Prism video converter at one point. But, oh my god, I haven't been able to in a long time, also because I haven't opened MMD in a while, except for today, so. Let's see. Oh, I should also talk about Kira Kira. Kira Kira is basically a, They look a little glowy, floaty type things. And I want to bring it up because this effect has a PMD controller. And I want to talk about how to get those to function as well. Let's see, where do I have it saved? Let's go Kira Kira Colors. Let's go Kira Kira Blue. Actually, no, I don't think blue is the best option because it's not going to be as visible on the blue background. Let's go pink. That's a bit better. You're going to see it's going to do that, right? Let's, you know what? That's not too visible either. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Let's go with just... Oh, yes, your effect, Chestnut. Yes. Hi, Mad Lover Hat. Thank you. Thank you, Bad Irish Slug. I hope you like me. I'm glad you like my hat. Let's go yellow. Okay, yellow's a lot better. So with Kira Kira and a lot of other particle type effects like this, there's going to be a PMD file that's provided with the effect, right? It's going to be in the same folder. Where is it? Right here. Controller 0.pmd. Kira controller. This was translated to English by Chestnut. You know, thank you, Chestnut. You're a godsend. Just the whole effect with the controller with the center bone. So first what we want to do here is that we want to check this display box right here so you hide that little controller. Register that. Oh, hello Cupcake Monster. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to my channel. And these morphs right here, they're called morphs in like MMD language. They're basically just blend shapes or whatever. These will affect the, you know, the x-axis range, you know, let's say I wanted that, y-axis range, how far upwards they're gonna go. Let's go with that. Z-axis range, make them go farther. Down the z-axis, you know, you can change the speed. Do that. Just know that a lot of particle effects like this and other different just MMD effects in general may or may not have a PMD or PMX file that controls the aspects of this effect or any other effect, whatever. And also, I also want to talk about autoluminous. Autoluminous is just a basic glow effect that takes account of the model's reflect value. Like, for example, there is a... Actually, hold on. Okay, I want to teach y'all how to do... Okay, let me slow down. Before I talk about autoluminous, I want to talk about, like, model draw order. Model draw order is basically, like, changing the order, like, internally in MMD of which model was loaded first. And this is going to solve a lot of transparency issues that you're going to find. Like, currently, right now, you can see that there may or may not be, like, transparency issues with the hair. Or, like, it also fix effect issues as well. So, we would have to go into, background, model draw order. Gonna click that. Okay, so we're fine because, like, we don't have the, background in as a PMX file. But if we loaded in the Teto model first, and then we loaded in the background, you would see that the transparent bits of her hair would not be, you know, transparent onto that background. It would be transparent onto, like, the white default MMD background. So what we would do here is select, like, the model and then go up or down to make Teto in front of everything, right? In front of, like, just the stage, I mean. You can also, like, mess around with this if you're seeing any, like, effect errors or, like, glitches to see if that does anything. Okay, both autoluminous, it's a basic glow effect that takes account of the model's reflect value in PMX editor. Like, you can see that the person who edited this model made sure that the reflect value of, like, this transparent hair parts, like, there's a little bit of that on the shoes, on the pink stuff right here. And on the catch lights, I'm pretty sure there's a little bit of a glow here. But if we wanted to actually manipulate this, because this doesn't have a controller, PMX, or PMD file, we would mess with it straight up in this accessory panel. Like, for example, we click right here, this text right here, which also affects the rotation and the, like, the movement right here. These are literally the same thing. This is just more convenient than just typing in numbers to see what works right. So let's say, okay, so when you move the x-axis on the auto luminous, it will like add these little lens flares right here. You know, let's keep that there. Using the Y axis will affect the overall like reflect value of pretty much everything from what I'm seeing here. Z doesn't do anything, I'm pretty sure. And the X rotation will rotate those catch lights. The Y rotation will affect the size of those, like, those, I mean, not the catch lights, I mean the, what are they called? The lens flares. Z will, like, make it kind of, like, flicker, I guess. So if you, like, set, like, a keyframe for, like, I don't know. I haven't actually messed with the Z rotation a bit. But I know that it does, like, the flickering thing. But I know that they can also, like, do that, like, a model side as well. I want to see if this model actually has, like, like, luminous effects, like, built in here. No, she doesn't. Okay. We'll just know that some MMD models do actually have material affecting morphs built in that may or may not affect the effects that you have loaded into the software. So let's see. Let me actually add one more flare in. There we go. I want that. Hello, MTV Music Television. Welcome to the channel. That's funny. Hi. Okay. So what we're doing? What was I doing? That caught me off guard. Let's just play. You can see everything's so bright. We can actually mess with the lights right here. The global light that's just included with MMD. Got that. Everything's looking good, right? Everything's looking, you know, basic MMD content. Okay, something that I also do want to mention, like, let's say you wanted to load in, like, a motion blur effect. Like, hold on. I do have a few here. I have motion blur 3. Let's load that in. Just to know that your motion blur is going to be less visible the higher frame rate that you have. Like, for example, currently, let me set the maximum frames per second limit to 30 frames per second. That motion blur is going to be a lot more obvious, right? If I wanted to set this to 60, that motion blur would not be as visible. But I know y'all aren't going to see it because I have my stream limited to 30 frames per second. But just know, just take my word. Let's see here. What else did I want to mention here? Oh, I do actually want to talk about the self-shadow manipulation here, because it's not really talked about. This affects, like, the detail of the shadows, right? But the thing is, the more detail that you have right here, if you scroll back far enough, they're not going to be visible. And the further down you go down this far slider, you are going to see more of the shadows the farther you scroll away. So if you're, like, have your camera really far away and, like, you're seeing those shadows disappear, take the shadow range and move it closer to far. That will fix all your problems. Oh, are you going to talk about effects crashing and fixing effect compatibility in the effect editor? The effect editor, let me see here. I haven't actually messed too much with effects like that to the point to where I feel like I'm confident to where I'd be able to, like, know what I'm talking about. Let's see here. The red box and stuff with the lens flare, etc. I've never had that issue before, actually. So I don't know how to fix it. Yeah, I've never had that problem before, so I'm not sure how to fix it. Wow, rude. Miwa isn't just downloading website downloads isn't working in Chrome, use something else. Yeah, I use Firefox, so I don't know what to tell you. Let's see, what else would I want to munch? Okay, so there's this whole category of effects. They're called SSAO, ambient occlusion, right? They're basically like the shadow around like edges of the object to kind of like better fake that depth. And they're often abused, and it often looks really bad. But typically, what I use is called SVSSAO. It adds a very subtle shadow around the models to kind of like give that depth in. When I turn that on and off, you can see the difference. These are often very useful when rendering, so I figured I'd let you know. But don't abuse them because they will look crusty if you use too many ambient occlusion effects on your model as well. Let's see here. Oh yeah, I also want to talk about facial morphs. Let me move this head up. Oh, bump up this 10. Oh boy. 1 second. I also want to talk about... Hold on, let me turn off the AO. Not the AO, I mean the auto luminance, I'm sorry. She's so bright. She's so bright. In order to register, like, facial animations, stuff like that, okay, so with MMD models, you are, for pretty much almost every single one of them, you're gonna find that all of them have A, O, A, I, U, E, O, and sometimes N. Tina models have popularized the usage of wa and a2, but this one doesn't have a2 for some reason. I don't know why this person took it out. But in order to, like, actually, like, animate these, you need to, like, okay, as you would with a bone, at the starting position, register, and then, like, at how many frames you want to have go forward. It's a slider, register, and you'll see that, it will go from 0 to 100, and if you want to just go back to 0, there you go. You can't use interpolation curves on face morphs, which is unfortunate, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? Yeah, A2 is so powerful for good lip sync. Yes, it's such a good facial morph. I don't know why this editor took it out. Let's see here. You can select multiple bones at the same time by using box select by just dragging over here, you know? But you can't rotate multiple bones at the same time. So that's cool. It's only really useful for, like, resetting and register multiple bones at the same time rather than just straight up editing them. Let's see. If you wanted to... Okay. So let's say I also wanted to move this shoulder upwards, and I wanted this rotation to be, like, on the other side as well, like the exact value. I could just copy and paste these angle numbers right here, right? But, really quick way to do this, you can copy, and then click this new reverse button that's going to show up, and that's going to come in. Very useful information, makes your life so much easier. Let's see here. Oh my god. I feel like at this point I just kind of need to sit here and, like, let people ask questions because I'm, you know. Key shortcut, C toggles bones, yes. It turns on that select on and off. X opens rotation. I don't really take, like, use of those, like, key shortcuts, but thank you for, like, saying that. I did not know that those existed. Let's see here. Is there any questions for, like, using MMD in chat? Because I'm drawing blanks on what I should actually say, but maybe this is just coming from someone who's been using MMD for a long time and everything just kind of, like, comes to my brain. So I don't think of, like... Thank you, Sodasaurus, for the follow! Welcome to my channel! How do I use working floor again? Okay, in accessory manipulation... Hold on, let me just remove this. Accessory manipulation, you click load. Your file explorer should show up. You go to your file for working floor, and you should open up working floor, whatever version, .x. You'll have that loaded in. If you want to make it more transparent, there's this TR value right here. I set that to point whatever. If you want to change the size of it, change that to whatever. Very, very nice effect. It was abused a ton. Hold control to move items and cam slowly. Shit go too fast. Yes. Very subtle motion to not hold control. Are you also doing PMX today? No, I don't have the energy and I don't have anything like that prepared. That it will have to be in the future. I do want to do a PMX editor type seminar today as well. Not today, I mean, like, in the future. I mean, sorry, I keep misspeaking. There's something wrong with me in the brain. Hi, I'm Mads. I have every disease. Oh, I just started hydrating. Thank you for the hydrate redeem. Ugh. Oh my god, my throat. Let's see here. Like, any questions at all? Like, any about, like, functionality or, like, any, like, how do I do this, that, this? I also want to put on another hat. 1 second. Placing lights. Here, 1 second. Let me put in another hat right here. A hat for my hat. There we go. There we go. Do you have any embarrassing old MMD vids to show off? I did have MMD videos uploaded to my YouTube at one point from by me when I was like 14, but I deleted them because I'm embarrassed. Placing lights. Okay, so I'm not gonna use raycast because that's a whole different fucking can of worms that I don't want to go into. Let's see here. And placing lights. Okay, so let's say by placing lights, I'm assuming, okay, alright. So there are no real light sources that you can load into MMD from what I'm aware of, but there is an effect called, what's it called? Post point light. I have that installed. It's a godsend when you're not using raycast or any other effect that comes in with built-in light systems. It's a PMD file. You're gonna load that and that's gonna show up. Don't worry about it. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. Let me load an emitter. I know there's a way to fix it. I actually have not done this in a hot second, so forgive me. Oh, I have a question. Is there a way to move model stage around so you can set models on things like desks and stuff? Yeah. If you have a stage where it has like a mother bone in the center, it should. I sure hope that stage has a mother bone. You just like, hold on. Let me, in order to move it, you would just select the bone for the stage or whatever. Or dummy bones, maybe. And just like, move it. This also is applicable for stages as well. However, if your stage is a .x file, you would move it using this SS3 type thing, or you would move it using, you know, X, Y, and Z. Half Lambert shader is also good for better lighting MD without raycast. Yes, I actually haven't used half Lambert shader before. Back in my day, you had to parent the stage X. Tammy. Yeah. Okay, so what Rice is talking about, MMD, in the model folder that's generated with MMD, will come up with this, PMD file called Dammy Bone, where you can basically just parent, whatever X file need to these bones, and they should move to whatever, like, according to the movement of these bones. It's very, very useful, even today. Very, very useful. Oh my god, my throat hurts. Let's see here. I want to talk about post point light. Yes, okay. This is a godsend. It's basically just a light source. Very, very good. It's a PMD file. A moment of silence file. God! A moment of silence for my man Dammy. Hard agree. With the post point light, you can actually change the color using these sliders right here. This one's for the colors. This one's for like making it less intense right here. And you can intensify it using this one. It's very, very good. Oh my god. Wow, this looks like garbage. Of course. What else will it look like? And we also have the post point light squares. I love the squares. Hey, that rim lighting though. We got that rim lighting. Let me get rid of that post point light. Let's see here. What else could I bring up here? What else can I talk about? Gonna show them how to remove the squares. Okay, honest to God, I don't know how to remove the squares. I don't know how to remove the squares. I've only used the post point lighting effect in like just straight up renders above the waist and stuff like that. So how do you get rid of the squares? Rice, do you have anything to share with the class on how to, like, remove those squares? Again, I'm not all-knowing. I just use the cure controller to the effect error check on, but okay, I see. Okay, thank you. Let me load that back in. Where is it? Let's put post-point light. Equal effect, back map mapping. Check the boxes until it goes away. Check boxes. Dios mío. Dios mío. That, okay, no. I'm sure I'm doing this wrong. I'm sure I'm 100% doing this wrong. I really don't know. I just bashed box together till it works. Oh, fuck you. Why would you say that? Good lord. Okay, yeah, I got uncheck the box for the light. Well, yeah, but like it also in each tab, but it's already unchecked in each tab. What the hell are you talking about? What you talking about? So it works with the square go away. Cool. That's already unchecked. That's unchecked. That's unchecked. That's unchecked. That's unchecked. One of those checks is fucking up. Yes, I'm very much aware that one of them is fucking it up. But the only one that's actually checked is this one. Nope, I bashed rocks. Have them quite grug core. Well, we're getting rid of post from light. And we still have squares. Yeah. Oh my god, this would be a really great, like, transition into a raycast tutorial for lighting and stuff like that. But oh my god, I do not want to even begin setting up raycast, because that's a whole different can of worms. For those that aren't aware, raycast is a effect system, which is basically like really nice lighting. Basically, you're gonna see them in a lot of modern MMD videos with that really nice shading. But the thing is, it's kind of a bitch to set up. It's just like, it's not hard actually setting up lighting once you get raycast set up. The whole difficulty with raycast is just getting it set up so you can actually start using it. Raycast also allows you to use normal maps and stuff like that. It's very, very nice. Also gets laggy if you want to set up lots of light. Yeah, sure, I haven't really had a lot of issue with, like, rendering with raycast. Maybe because I just have a good PC. I've got that, NVIDIA, GeoFart RX. I've got that NVIDIA GeoFart, you know? What all the gamer bros are talking about. No, I have a 3070. But yeah. Yeah. Any questions? Any more questions that I could possibly try to explain? The fart that rends the earth, the geofart. Oh, my boy. Oh. Why am I saying my boy? There's something wrong with me in the head. But yeah, any questions? Any questions at all? This stream makes me want to make an MMD video. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Sonny, you gotta make that MMD video. Best rendering settings. Okay, when you actually, like, start to render, it's gonna render to an AVI file. You're gonna come up with this thing right here. You're gonna set the file name to whatever, right? You have to set the amount of frames that you want to render right here. Let me actually, like, go to the final frame, which you can do by selecting this button right here. So we got 8,002 frames, right? Render to AVI file, set that file to whatever. Recording, let's go 0 to 8,002, set your frame rate. Video compressor. I have the UT video. Okay, so, if you want to render, if you want to render with, like, the, audio in your video without doing any, like, post-processing in, like, a different software, you have to have it start at 0, or it's not gonna work. But if you want to render in 4K, like, just 4K quality or 60 frames per second, whatever, you have to like have this like different codec installed. I forgot which one you have to choose. Gonna be completely real because I haven't rendered an MMD for a while, but I know it's one of these, and I know if you look up a tutorial, you're gonna find the answer. But typically, like if I was just doing a 30 frames per second, just normal render, I just have the MPEG compressor. Also, you want to set the screen size to, I just have mine at 1080p. Okay. Let's go back, render AVI, blah, 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 blah. Set that here, 0. I'm gonna set this just to MPEG compressor, so it's not, you know, I use FFD show for 4K. Okay, that's muy interesante. And then you just click OK and it should start rendering. Like, you see her moving? See her shoulder? Her shoulder fucked up because I set that bone. Yeah, it was just start rendering. I'm just gonna stop it. Yeah, I want to stop recording. And it'll show up as an AVI file as wherever you saved it. There she is. There she is in all her glory. She has problems. But yeah, there's that. That's how you render. And if you wanted to render just a straight up image, it's going to use the same values that you put in as your screen size for the render. You just go to File, Render to Picture File, and then you should... you have to manually input whatever image format that you want to do. By default, if you just don't set one, it's just going to save as a bitmap. But just set as a PNG, you know, set as whatever. It'll just a quick screen. You got that render. There you go. Got that PNG. Let's see here. What else should I go over here? It's 7:11 p.m. Make a wish. Let's see here. Best render settings. I don't know because hold on. It's really like dependent on whatever effect you're working with. Like for example, I typically work with like for renders, I use full simple soft shadow for literally everything. Because it softens those shadows and also fixes this weird GPU issue that happens with NVIDIA where if you go too close, it'll like show the wireframe. Kind of. It's really weird. I still have not been able to find a fix for that, but I have found that using full simple soft shadow pretty much fixes everything. For me at least, because, you know, that's the only effect I really use, you know. Let me fix those lights. Whatever. Oh, that's weird. Yeah, it is very weird. It's so odd. Very, very odd. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay, another tip. If there's an edge line on the model that you want to get rid of, go to Edit. No. Go to Thickness Edge Line when you're in the model manipulation for whatever model you want to disable the edge line for. Thickness of edge line. Oh yeah, and the issue I'm talking about, I know for a fact it's an anti-aliasing issue with NVIDIA specifically. I don't know how to fix it. It's very fun. But yeah, that's how you turn off the edge line. Learning MMD is really just learning about outdated software limitation and how hardware compatibility works. Yeah, like actually. I need to add another hat on here. Hold on. Let me put on another hat. Not help. Props. How do I rotate? Shift mouse wheel. Awesome. We got that done. Wait, why isn't it showing up? Where's my hat? Where's my hat? There we go. Put one right here. There we go. There we go. We fixed that. This seems like a cool piece of software though. Yeah, it's very much a piece of history. It is a piece of history that's continuously used today. I don't know why people still use MMD. Okay, I do know why people still use MMD, but I wish people stopped using it. So I don't have to talk about MMD. But, yeah. We're just trying to get along with us. MMD2 when? MMD2 never. I never want to touch the software ever again. I've been doing all my renders in Blender for like the past few months. Oh boy. Is there any, again, any questions at all? Like anything that I should bring up or talk about? Because I'm drawing more blanks. Huh. Huh. I already talked about the interpolation curve. I talked about loading in models and like registering face morphs. Please stop redeeming the Lewis Griffin voice! Please stop redeeming that! I need to get rid of that redeem! I thought it was funny when I first implemented it. But now it's just not so funny anymore. Oh, Peter. Peter, I hate MMD. Oh, I'm so tired of You made it too cheap. I need to make it more fucking expensive. Oh. Alright. Hello, stream. Hello, chat. Welcome to my MMD tutorial. I can't. I'm under pressure. Okay, take it back. Yeah, please stop. Oh my lord. You look so official. Do I? With my hats? Okay, let's actually start a new file. And let's say I want to load in... let's see here. Oh my god, now I have a headache in the back of my head. Lewis did this to me. Doing voice on stream takes practice. You'd get better over time. It actually be super fun. Maybe grade popular historic MMD vids? Oh, maybe. Maybe, perhaps. Oh my god, what? I was just trying to think. How many channel points to keep adding hats? None, or maybe not. Unless, hold on, if there is any MMD video that I want to, like, bring up, I want to bring up the Madoka Magica, Po video. I want to bring up that one. Let's go, hold on, let me just bring it up real quick. Madoka Magica Po MMD? Where the hell is it? I found it. Yes, it was. This is the only video ever, by the way. I don't watch Madoka Magica, but this is iconic as hell. This is what MMD was made for. Iconic as fuck. God, this video's, like, unironically funny. And I'm mad that it is. I'm pretty sure I have this motion downloaded as well. How long must have this taken? I don't know. Like, 99% of it would have just been configuring out, like, the gunshot things. Wait, can I link a video? Yeah, send it to me. I'll check it out first before, like, we look at it. Oh. Ugh. Hell yeah. This is... So they record the motion, then just plug it into the model. The person didn't make this motion. I know what motion this is talking about. Hold on. MMD, Haven, Polka, motion. Trying to find it. Okay, this is the motion that that was used here. This is an up of my insanity, OMG, using a Tita model or whatever. But this is the motion, I believe. Yes, it is. Yeah, but, this was actually traced off of an actual video that exists. Hold on, let me actually try and find it real quick. Leven, Polka, Dance, Leaks. That's not very specific. Oh, I actually found it on the first try. Holy cow. It was actually this video. It was traced off of this one. But yeah, it was Trace off with this one. There she goes. Oh. Yeah. Well, there's that. Came for MMD lecture, stayed for meme history lesson. Yeah, my lord. I literally think I might actually be done for tonight, maybe. I'm like, that wore me out so quickly, and we're not even 3 hours in. I am gonna be saving this VOD though, and re-uploading it to YouTube for archival purposes, including my hats. These hats need to be treasured. You should, yeah, awesome. Okay, hold on. Let me actually check out Twitch real quick and see if there's any of my kids that are streaming right now. Let's see. No, none of my kids are streaming right now. Anyone got any recommendations for who we should raid? VTubers, like, preferably. Let's see. No luck next time, I guess. Oh, okay. Okay. Maybe. Oh, actually, Ayumi's streaming. I know Ayumi. Ayumi's very nice. Oh, Seratina? Who's Seratina? Let me see. Seratina. Oh, I want to, like, aim for someone a bit smaller, maybe? But how much does Ayumi have? No, Ayumi's bigger than Seratina. Okay, I suppose we can. You have a friend? What friend do you have? You got a friend? Playing Final Fantasy 14. He distributed to you someone I know. Okay. Hold on, I'll actually have to write those down. Let's just maybe go with Ayumi, maybe. That might be a good idea, because I know that Ayumi knows who I am and it might not be so awkward, you know? Hold on, let me bring open my dashboard again. I know that, wait, no, I have it open. Where is it? Just which window? Let's raid. Thank y'all for coming. I appreciate y'all who actually came. And thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. I will be re-uploading this VOD to YouTube. I'm trying my best. Trying my best out here. So, let's go. Please be nice to Ayumi. Ayumi is currently playing Monster Hunter Rise. And bye-bye. Bye-bye and good night. Good night.